Not tonight. We'll do it tomorrow.
Sounds good.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Wednesday, which means it's officially time for Boob Tube, and of course, it's not Boob Tube without my beautiful co-hosts, Casey Carter and desirable Desiree Bottom. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
How
ladies.
Are you?
Hey, ladies.
Sexy ladies.
Okay, Ray J.
I'm like, is it just me?
Oh my
And
goodness.
you? Like, what's going on here?
What?
I don't know. Oh, nope, it's not just us. It's also Jason.
Jason, what's up, Jason? We're so glad you're here. Where have you been?
Jason's been
Where have
showing
you
up like at the
been?
last minute here and there. Not the last minute, but like, you know, Jason's always our first one in, and lately he hasn't been the first one in. He'll pop in somewhere in the middle, somewhere.
Yeah.
But today, he's on it.
He's on it. Well, you know why? Because we were a few minutes late. Gave Jason a chance to get there before us.
Right. We gave him a little head start. So, how's your week been? I have felt like I was telling Casey before we went live. I feel like I'm being tested, and I sure hope I'm passing because life is lifing.
Is it like the cosmos? Is it like a weird day in the cosmos?
Well, Mercury in retrograde did start this week.
Ooh.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. Now, having said that, I've had quite a few people, you know, talk about the fact that weird things have been going on and whatnot. And I have surprisingly been very at peace in the present moment. I'm grateful. But I also feel like I'm on the edge of something. Like I feel at peace, but I feel chaos around me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yep.
I feel like I am at peace in some ways, and in other aspects of my life, like it is complete chaos. Like, for instance, my living situation, as I explained to you guys before we went live last week, things have been off the chain with that. And, you know, I got thrown into house hunting and how very difficult it is to get approved for rent. And I'm looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $7,000 just to relocate to another space, which is a fraction. Like my upstairs of this house is bigger than the entire apartment that I'm moving into. So like not even one floor of this house, I'm going to be reducing size, which I'm not complaining about that because I'm actually really excited about that because I'm going to only be taking a few things with me. And so I'm downsizing and purging tremendously. And I'm really excited about that. And I'm excited about having a place that has central heat and air and new appliances and it's, you know, fresh and clean and like in a whole new area. So for that, I'm super grateful and excited about, but the process,
nightmare.
Girl.
Yeah.
I'm seeing all kinds of, I guess because I've that's like kind of on my FYP page on TikTok and Instagram as well, because, you know, your phone picks up your habits or what you're looking at. And so I'm seeing a lot of TikToks where people are saying it is really difficult. Like the amount of people that are displaced and having to move in with family or, make alternate housing arrangements is because of this whole epidemic where landlords are charging these exuberant amounts of rent for the same thing that was half the price a couple of years ago. And then you've got your food, you've got utilities. My utility company just sent me this like tremendously high bill, and I'm like, I called her yesterday and I'm like, how do I have less roommates? It's just me and my partner. So there's less people using utilities, less water, less electric, and less gas. Yet my bill has doubled. Is somebody stealing electric off of my line? Like, so anyway, so that for me has been the chaos part, is like trying to navigate finding a new place and being excited, but also being overwhelmed.
Right. And it's funny because I actually spent about 2 months contemplating and looking at other places to live, thinking, well, because I'm in a house now, and I'm like, I'll go someplace else and maybe spend a little bit less money or whatever, because in anticipation of the rent's gonna go up. And let me tell you, to spend less money, as you're saying, I would be insignificantly.
In a fraction.
It would be like moving into, going from, say, a shoebox, a Timberland box, right, down to a matchbook box. Like, that's the difference in size, and yet I would probably only save $300-$400. And I'm like,
it's not worth it.
No, I'm like, I guess we'll sell a few more things to make up that difference in the rent, because it's just not it. And the peace of mind, and so I definitely, Kari, understand the stress of having to go, having to find something, having to then rationalize in your mind, I'm gonna get significantly less, and to some extent pay more for that less than, and it's, I don't know, I just, the housing market is straight pimping people. Just
facts.
Straight pimping people. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And if you could buy a house, you could probably get something decent, but then you're going to question the neighborhood. You're going to, you'll have issues with the loan, the interest in the loan, the amount of loan that you can get. I mean, you are straight taking it raw, because the housing market is insane right now on both sides. Typically, it's going to favor one or the other.
Not
right now, they are both insane.
And the housing market is allegedly going to crash soon. Right now, people are trying to offload their properties and get what equity is available, because they're saying that with the war in the Middle East and, all of the different things that are happening in our world right now, that the stock market is declining quickly. And of course, we hear these things all the time, so it's not anything to be like mega alarmed about, because, fear leads to hysteria. It forces people to do things, that
do
whole
irrational things.
Right. Yep. But if you look at the past, this is not the first time we've been in this situation where you've noticed that the housing market and other things in our economy are in chaos and in trouble, because we've been here before where inflation was a thing. And, anyways, for me, like, personally, I'm like good. When you talk about peace, I'm good there. But it's these outside aspects that keep coming in and are like,
trying to disturb your peace.
How good are you?
Yeah. Trying to disturb your peace. Totally get it. Totally get it. So yeah, so definitely you have to guard yourself through this retrograde. Yeah.
Put up my blockers, Sage.
Yeah.
How are you, Desiree? What are you?
Not bad. Beating Elden Ring.
How's gaming life?
It's good. Raising funds for Stand Up to Cancer.
Oh,
Cool.
yes.
Very cool.
Doing that all month long in August. So I have a little link. I could send you the video, my little YouTube video.
Yeah, that would
next
be cool.
week if you want to promo it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're doing that all month long. I got 2 more bosses to beat in Elden Ring in the DLC, and then we're done. So that would be my first Souls game completed.
Cool.
I've played I've played like Dark Souls and stuff, but never completed them, like Sekiro, and there's like all these like samurai, kind of like Ghost of Tsushima. I might try that game next. I don't know yet though. We'll see.
You know, it's so funny. I'm listening to you, seeing the excitement on your face, and in my head, all I think is she's speaking Vietnamese. I don't know what the hell she's talking about, but I just love to hear her talk about it because she's so excited.
It's fun. That's like my safe kind of like getaway kind of.
Well, you can tell by the way you talk about it. You can tell it brings you joy. So whatever she says, I love it.
Yes, and we want more of it.
Yes.
Yes. So it's been a crazy week in TV. We gotta talk about it. We got it. Why is my light keeps falling? My poor laptop. But we got to talk about the House of Dragons because we just had our final episode for the season.
I'm so sad.
I'm so mad. I'm so mad.
Why are you mad, Casey? Tell me. Tell us.
I hated, capital H, I hated this season finale. Absolutely hated it.
I did so I wasn't a big fan of this whole Alicent and Rhaenyra thing. That to me,
buddy.
Was they weren't buddy, but it was awkward. I don't know. What I did like though was when Daemon came back and he bent his knee to Rhaenyra. He kissed the ring. Everyone came along with him. That I will say
very
was
loyal.
Empowering. That was very empowering.
I was very, very surprised because it seemed like with all his little mental demons, he could have, or he was at least leaning towards being disobedient and unruly. He was certainly leaning that way. So I was very happy to see him, do the right thing, if you will, and support Rhaenyra. But going back to Alicent and Rhaenyra, I have to be honest. I was very happy. Rhaenyra was like, "Bitch, what you want? Why are you here?" Because when Rhaenyra tried to put up that olive branch, and girlfriend just totally blew her off, I was like, "Yo, that was the moment. That was the moment that it took a lot for Rhaenyra to come and do what she did when she did. Now that your joint is in jeopardy,
you got removed from the table.
Yep, I said
you see that your son is out of fucking control, and there's nothing you can do about it. He does not respect you. He does not value your opinion. As far as you're concerned, you are a peasant. Yep. And now
you want to help.
Now, because it has an interest to you. Before, you didn't care when you were on the other side of things, or so you thought.
Right.
Now, because you have and that's how Rhaenyra basically treated her, was like, now that you have a personal interest in this, now you want to, and I know we talked about it before, but it didn't resonate or really like sink in until this episode that Aegon and his wife are sister and brother. I was like,
okay, wait.
I know we talked about it, but
wait. Let us spend a few minutes on that because Lorenzo and I, we were talking about the show, and he says, "Did I hear that right? Is that their sister?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he said, "As in the mother of the king's kids?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "Did you know that?" I'm like, "I don't think I realized that was the same chick." And I think they did a really good job of not well, first and foremost, never letting us see them be intimate and keeping that sibling relationship on the DL. I mean, because I remember the sister being weird. I remember she was weird, but the only time you ever really saw her was when he was, they were talking about him going off to be with the whores and the whatever, whatever, whatever. And as any wife would be annoyed, she was annoyed.
Right.
So it was it didn't whatever. But when they threw it in there this time, and they basically did it twice. That first time when he came and grabbed her to say, you gotta come, and Allison was like, messing with your sister, blah blah blah, and I was like, wait, what did she just say? And then when the two of them were out on the balcony, and he was like, sister, I was like, oh my God, how the hell did we miss this? Like, why weren't we talking about that?
2 seasons. 2
right?
seasons. This has been like literally in our faces, and we've just been like,
totally missed it.
I don't even think that we missed it. I think it was kind of denial. Like,
oh no, I missed it. I'm gonna tell you,
me too. Me too. But we talked about it in the past. But it was kind of like maybe we presumed, or I don't know. It just was kind of like a gross oversight.
Kari, I'm gonna tell you right here, right now, I would have made a big ass deal out of that if I remember it. If I had made that connection, I never made that connection until this episode. You could have knocked me over with a feather. Like flies could have built a condo in my mouth. My mouth was hung open so wide. I was like, oh.
Did you say flies could build a condo in your mouth?
I did.
I love it.
The visual.
I did. But anyway, yeah. Let me tell you why I didn't enjoy the episode. Let me say that, because you did, Kari, pull out the moments of the show. I was like, oh, what? Like I did.
There was no dragon fight.
Well, here's what I didn't like. Way too much talking. We talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. I'm like, none of the episodes all season had this much talking without
it was like being the Charlie Brown.
Right? I'm like, there were no dramatic moments. None whatsoever. Not even the things we just talked about. Not even the whole sister, husband, king, whatever thing. Not Allison going to see what's her face. And maybe the closest thing to something being dramatic is what you said about Damon. But even that wasn't necessarily dramatic. It
was almost like, for me, they were like, all the questions that you've had from before are now officially answered. We were wondering if old boy was the dad of the sailor and the dragon rider. We confirmed he's definitely the dad of the sailor, because they had the conversation about, where the fuck have you been on my whole life? And now all of a sudden you want me to go and, like, you didn't care about us when you had your rich family. So yeah, when you saw me out and about, you knew who I was, but you paid me no mind. Now that you don't have them anymore, now all of a sudden I'm on your radar, like, F off.
Oh yeah, because he definitely let him have it. He's like, basically, your wife is gone, your kids are gone, now I'm a replacement. No, I don't think so.
Now what?
Right. So it just felt like, and then of course Damon's been off in La La Land all season trying to, figure himself out, and he comes back, so that added closure to that situation. And then of course, it's just been like, for me, I don't know. I agree with the whole, like, there wasn't enough action and way too much talking
for a season finale. Come on, there was no cliffhanger, none whatsoever. Nothing.
I mean, hey, Tia Titan, aside from the fact that we are anticipating this war because we know Aemond is, like, out of control, and a control power hungry psychopath who was willing to kill his brother to become the king. And still might.
Yeah.
Which is why Alicent wants out of the throne. In my opinion, that's her real reason for leaving, is that she knows that Aemon is going to do whatever it takes, and she knows that her life is in danger because he will stop at nothing to achieve what he feels is his rightful place on the throne, because he doesn't like how anybody
does anything. Okay, so couple of things you said that I want to go back on. The former hand, Alicent's dad, that one, what, 3 seconds they show him behind bars in a cart, and I was like, ooh, where'd they find him? Because remember, for the last couple of episodes, she's been looking for him, and now here he is in a cage. Okay. The sneaky dude who is the brother of Rhaenyra's boys. We don't talk about that, but he's the brother of Rhaenyra's boys, the former hand son or whatever. And the way he kind of whispered into the king's ear to convince the king to leave the castle with him. And and what caught my attention was the king was like, I mean, the dude was like, yeah, so I've been stocking away some of your money out here, over there, just in case. I'm like, wait, what? Like, and the king is so fucked up, it didn't register. Dude's stealing from you. He's stealing from you. Hello. At any given moment, he could have just went off with your money.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And then Alicent, in that conversation she had with Rhaenyra, she's like, oh, once Aemon leaves, it'll be, so-and-so on the throne, Helena on the throne, and I'm sure we can get the king to da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, little does Alicent know, he has left the building. He gone. Bye-bye. So, yeah, it's, again, I didn't like it. I didn't. But all of these little things that happen that I'm just like, huh? What are we doing? What is going on here?
It's not a cliffhanger. It's like they just left us in ultimate confusion.
Yep.
Like you didn't say whether the war was still gonna happen. You didn't, like, you closed some doors, but you left others open, and it was so dry. Like
it was.
Like I said, my only, because I felt like that conversation with Rhaenyra and Alicent, one, went on way too long, and two, it should have got physical. Because if I was Rhaenyra, I would have slapped the shit out of her ass. So
now that would have been interesting. That would have been interesting.
That, for me, I'd have grabbed her by her hair and been like, really, bitch? But anyways, that's just my thoughts.
That would have been interesting.
The only scene that really stood out to me and really gave me the feel goods and, gave me season finale was the Daemon bending his knee to Rhaenyra, because we did not see that coming.
No.
We anticipated him.
I'm sorry. No, finish that thought.
I was going to say, we anticipated him coming back and being like, nah, I want to be the king, bitch, move. And he came back and was like, bended on, I was thinking of the Boyz II Men song, on Bended Knee, when he was, that was the soundtrack I was thinking of. So, and I was like, definitely female empowerment, because it took a lot for him to get on his knee, knowing that that's what it was going to take for everyone to fall in sync.
Right.
But go ahead.
I was gonna say, so when you talk about a scene that made you feel season finale, for me, it was when the sister finally found the other dragon after wandering the earth for days.
Yeah.
That I was like, because I'm first to say to myself, what the hell? Why did she not go with the babies when the babies left? Because that was her job. That very specifically was her assignment. And, and I get she wandered off because she heard about this dragon, but the way they ran that story, she's wandering. It's like wandering the desert. Like, she's just out here wandering. you know, when she found the water, the brook with the water, the stream with the water, or whatever, and you know, it made her look like again, like she had been wandering the desert. So she was like, "Ooh," and I'm like, "What the hell are we doing?" But when she stumbled onto the dragon, I'm then thinking, "Okay, this is cool. I want to see what happens here." But I'm also thinking, "What the hell? Where does she wander off to? Does she, you know, what clues, what signals did she follow in order to stumble upon a dragon in the middle of nowhere?" Who wrote
Because
this
apparent
episode?
because apparently you can just grow them in the forest.
Hello, and just wander for days until you bump into them.
Right,
Wow.
right.
And this better be good because I mean, as we have seen in these last couple of episodes, you don't pick a dragon picks you. So you have wandered the hillsides, the countrysides, the streams, the valleys to find this dragon. You better hope that bitch don't burn you to a crisp.
Right. You better hope you don't become a marshmallow and a s'more.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. That joint better be worth it, baby. It better be worth it.
Right? Because what happens when you stumble upon the dragon and the dragon is like, nah.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
That part. Anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think we
Anyways.
beat this horse.
Yeah. It's burnt to a crisp.
Yeah. That it is. That it
it
is. Oh my god.
So I did just real quickly stumble across Mayor of Kingstown, and I know that I had started watching it a long time ago, but I got a couple of episodes in and just I don't know, it didn't stick with me. Maybe I got distracted, but for whatever reason I decided to watch it again because somebody was telling me it was really really good, and it actually was. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring up Mayor of Kingstown. If anybody's been watching it on Paramount Plus, yeah, I watched the second season. I finished watching the first season, and then I watched the second season, and it was all the
I
good.
haven't
So
finished. I started the second season. I haven't finished it, and I'll probably start all over again because I don't remember what I've watched so far. But I like it, and I can understand why you say in the moment you didn't finish it because it's I don't want to say it's a slow burn, but you have to pay attention long enough to get the gist of what's going on in order
right,
to get invested in watching the show. Because that's what, you know, for me, I'm like the first couple of episodes, I'm like, okay, wait, there's so many things happening. Like I'm trying to figure out how it all connects and why is dude, well, Jeremy Renner wasn't initially the mayor of Kingstown, but like why there's a mayor and what power does this person have and why? And I don't even know if I understand the why of of there being a mayor of Kingstown.
well, I feel like where they went wrong and why it took me so long to like really get into it is that they didn't let the Mitch character, which was the original mayor, they did not let him paint the picture long enough so that you could understand when. So he was Mitch and Mike is his brother, Jeremy Renner. So that when Mike took over in his absence, what his role was, what his connections were. Like it took so long for you to like start seeing, and then eventually, I don't know if it was in the end of season 1 or the beginning of season 2, but they say he is an advocate for, you know, prisoners. He's an advocate for trying to keep the peace, and you know, he allows a lot of things to happen and makes deals with the police department not to go and, you know, whatever, so that they can keep the civilians at peace. And I guess the basic gist of the whole show is that their main message is like what happens in prison is so important in keeping balance, because whatever chaos is happening in the prison spews off into the streets, because most of your leaders are in prison, and you know, they're operating their, you know, gang, so to speak, in a way that there are ethics, there are morals, there is that street code. And as long as we know the code and everybody obeys the code, then, you know, things have some sort of order. And so, yeah, so Mayor of Kingstown, give it a look. See, I definitely recommend seeing season 2. It gets very juicy.
And let me say, Kari, I agree with what you're saying about they didn't give Mitch, the brother, the show starts off with Mitch being the mayor of Kingstown. And I agree, they killed him so soon, you never fully understood the character, the who this mayor was. And that, I think, contributes, like I said, I think it contributes to why it can be challenging to get into it.
Yes.
And again, now that you've said it, that would probably be my biggest complaint about it, is you killed him too soon. Way too soon.
Right. And so you don't, like, I felt like it would have gave like more comparison, because they kept talking about you have some big shoes to fill. You have some big shoes to fill. And we never got to see those shoes.
No. And what's, you know, you also mentioned something really very quickly, is Jeremy Renner's character apparently had disappeared for a while, and I don't know that we ever really find out where he was, that he just came back or whatever the case is. And then you know, here you have these two quasi criminal brothers who have another brother who's in law enforcement.
Right.
And well, seems to be at odds with his job. Like, he's cool with being in law enforcement, but at the same time, he thinks his brothers are cool.
Right. They do, I don't know if it's towards the end of season 1 or in season 2, they do go into details more about Jeremy Renner's character and where he was and why he is an advocate and how he's got all these connections and why he's a good choice to replace his brother, yada, yada, yada. So it does go into more detail. So definitely watch season 2.
Yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna start all over again, because when I would watch, I wasn't paying attention. But definitely good show. Good show.
Yes.
I got to see Deadpool and Wolverine too. The same thing. I liked it. It was good. Yeah. There's certain, it's like, I'm gonna say, like, I was like a little bit like this.
Okay.
Cause but I liked it, but I was just kind of like, eh. Like, if they would make another one, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like pushing the boundary a little bit. Like, so if they keep going,
what has you going? Yeah.
Because I like the whole, like, Professor X, like, she was the sister, right, of Professor X.
Yep.
So I like that whole thing. I think it was just more of the, like, I felt they just kept like, they're milking it for all it's kind of worth. It's kind of like the Scream movies and, like, I don't know what else. The other movies that are, whatever else is like that too. It's just like, meh.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, kind of like that. Like, they should have cut it off. They should have just, I don't know, whatever one. I did like that, you know, Deadpool and Hugh Jackman, right?
Yep.
Was that his name?
Yep.
Yeah, that they revamped his character. He, like, had to go in the vortex and, like, pick the best one. I like that stuff. Like, I like the future. I like the, you know, the space and the sci-fi stuff. But I was just like, and the dog with the tongue, I was like, that's cute. I don't like the kissy all up in your face, but I do like the
that was cute.
They brought the dog. Yeah, and at the end, all the Deadpools came out, and they were like, it was like epic. It was an epic battle. It was worth going to see, but I was just like, if they make another one, like, I don't know, like, and it earned how much revenue? Like, what was it, like 210 billion or million or something?
It was record breaking. I don't even know. They made record breaking money.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, that means people liked it then, right? Like, people wanted.
I
wanted some more.
They made so much money because it's been so long since we've had a movie with this much anticipation.
Okay.
I feel like since the
Fair enough.
pandemic, we've been in a dry spell for movies. Like Bad Boys came out, and it did.
Yeah.
I think it did relatively well, but
Okay.
it didn't do as good as they thought it was. Like it was one of those like, eh. But Deadpool, because they brought back Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Yeah.
I will
Who
say
was
the
not gonna ever do that character again.
right.
True, true. Never say never.
I feel like what I will say is that Ryan Reynolds is actually very creative and quite a genius for the way that he went about this. And even if the movie was may not have been, the big blockbuster that people anticipated, it still got really good ratings. A lot of people still enjoyed it.
Yep.
And the concept is well received. The bringing back the Electra and all these other characters that, don't get the recognition that they deserve. I think that Ryan Reynolds is onto something, and it was genius.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've never been crazy about his humor. But I think
it's something.
Never been crazy about, like, I don't like Adam Sandler's humor, and Ryan Reynolds kind of fits in that category for me. I'm like, I don't really like their humor. But I definitely believe they are both genius in terms of what they do and how they can take what I think is stupid and make multi-millions, billions off of it. So I definitely would not take that from them. It doesn't have to, they didn't make it for me personally, so we're all good. But I think for me, what took my interest and appreciation for the movie to another level, and this is what I shared with you all, was the article I read about Wesley Snipes and how he brought Wesley Snipes very specifically, called him on the phone to bring him into this movie. And I thought that was great because Wesley was like, we did that Blade thing several years ago. And it apparently left enough of an impression on Ryan Reynolds that he picked up the phone and called him. The other part about doing that with Wesley is not only does it set up the next Blade movie, but it actually has you going, I didn't realize Blade was a Marvel character. Like, if you're not a comic book person, you know the movie, but you didn't necessarily know that it was a Marvel character. Because, let us not forget, they've been making movies with some of these characters for years. It's only been in recent times that Marvel has become a powerhouse production studio. And, characters' names in all of these movies are blowing up because of the money that they have behind them. But Blade was hugely successful when it came out. And there were several Spider-Man movies that were successful before we got to the age of Marvel. So, and same with Guardian of the Galaxies, before we entered the Marvel universe, there's a lot of movies that we watched and enjoyed and never necessarily, unless you're a comic book person, never put two and two together. So I applaud him for taking this moment to bring characters in that we haven't seen in forever and weren't a part of this present Marvel moment, and B, having the wherewithal to get, like you said, Hugh Jackman to put the outfit back on. Hugh Jackman never has to put this outfit back on. Never, ever, 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 ever has to put the outfit on. He literally died. So the fact that they now want to use the multiverse as a means for bringing him back to life is, I'm like, now that we all understand the multiverse, they are wearing the hell out of the multiverse. I'm tired of the damn multiverse. So yeah, pretty cool.
It's like, yeah, it's like, let us take a trip down memory lane, kind of. That's it,
Yeah,
you know.
it's pretty cool.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I flew to New York this weekend. I went to see my sister. Went to a Yankee game. I apologize. I meant to bring my box. I went to this particular game because it's the 100-year anniversary of the New York Giants, and it was Eli Manning bobblehead day. I had to get me a bobblehead. For all the games I've ever been to, I've never gotten a bobblehead because bobbleheads
Oh,
tend to go,
yeah.
they tend to be distributed during weekday games. I don't like, we had Saturday tickets. You would think there'd be a bobblehead on a Saturday. Never did we have a bobblehead on a Saturday that we went. So I flew in very specifically for this game so I can get a bobblehead. I'm very excited. I got a bobblehead. I have not taken it out the
Nice.
box. I haven't taken it out the box. I don't even know what it looks like. But
Aw.
but I tell you all of that to say, just so I can say I was on an airplane. That's my point of telling you that. And I was on Southwest, and they had Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes in their movie selection. Trash. That's all I'm gonna say. Trash. I hated it.
Oh,
in the bin. In the bin.
It was so bad. So it was 2 hours plus. Okay, the ride up to New York is not that long. It's not that long. So I had to watch half on my way up, half on my way back. And let me just say, what felt like maybe the first 30, 40 minutes of the movie, there were no humans. It was all apes. No humans.
talking.
Yeah. Talking, yeah. All apes, no humans. And when the human finally showed up, it was one human. And then there were two humans. Two humans, whole movie, and the first human ultimately killed the second human, so we had one human most of the movie. And
oh no.
Yeah. And then when the movie got to the end,
Lord.
it was kind of very much House of Dragons. I'm like, that's it, we're done, the movie's over. What the fuck? I'm so glad I got to watch it on the airplane and I didn't actually pay for it.
Yeah.
I was so disappointed. So
I'm sorry.
because it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like Godzilla movies for me. I grew up watching Planet of the Apes movies, and they weren't great. They weren't great. Don't misunderstand. They were
but
weird.
They weren't bad.
That's what
right.
That right there.
Right.
They weren't great, but I enjoyed watching them. And even the more recent ones, I didn't like them all, but this one, I was so annoyed. So annoyed. Yeah.
It was on my watch list too, but now I'm gonna be like,
no, go ahead, Des. I don't want to ruin it for you. If it was on your list, I encourage you to watch it. You might have a different take on it than I did, but I just was so disappointed. I was excited about the fact that it was like the only new movie on the list because I had just flown last weekend, and I'm like, I've seen whatever, but I was very disappointed that it was. But at the same time, when I think about it, I'm like, that movie came out and it went out. Like, I didn't even hear a whole lot about it once it was out.
True.
I just know that there's like 8, 9, or 10 of them now, and I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it kind of like?
I remember. Yeah, it was like I remember the one that Mark Wahlberg was in.
Yes.
And that's about it.
Yeah.
And that one was decent. It wasn't like
it wasn't the worst, but yeah.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't like a movie that I was gonna seek out to see again.
Right.
But it wasn't like so bad that like it's in, you're like, oh nah, I ain't watching.
And that is exactly what I'm saying. I remember the Mark Wahlberg one, and I don't even like that one compared to like all the other ones that came out. But that one didn't even leave me feeling like this one did. I was so disappointed. So disappointed. Anyway.
This is like one of those situations where you think you're going to meet up with someone who has a tree trunk and then you find out he has an ant?
Yeah. And unless, if y'all don't understand the point of that story, y'all don't know us.
Zing.
Right.
Okay.
Don't want no short. Okay, anyways, moving along. What else you got?
Don't want. Okay. So I'm gonna go with A Quiet Place. Day one. I seen it. I liked it.
Okay.
It was one of those shows or movies that you want to. At the beginning, I had to rewatch it again. I was kind of like, the beginning, it was kind of slow because she's like terminally ill. I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about it. So it's about this woman. She's terminally ill. She's from New York. It's under attack with alien invasions. And this girl lives in a facility, I guess a hospice, because she's passing away or whatever. She's got to take medicine. And then all this alien thing breaks loose. So everybody's got to get out. She's like, I want to go have some pizza. The guy's like, sure, we're going to go to like a museum. Come on down. Like, we're going to take the whole facility, like the hospice, and do a field trip. They end up going to New York. Yeah. Come on, let's go have that New York slice of pie. And then all the aliens come, and then they have to be quiet because the aliens can hear you. And so she ends up meeting this guy. Like, there's like these kids. She's got like a pet cat. It's really cute, okay? So it reminds me of the game Stray. So it's Stray is like you're the cat though. And it's like you have to explore the city. So it's like really weird. But anyways, I don't know why this cat reminds me of this game, but it does. So anyway, it's a service animal. So she's got this cat, helps her with anxiety or like panic attacks, whatever she's got. You know, the guy's like, she goes into a store. The guy's like, no animals in here. She's like, it's my service pet. It's like staying with me. And the cat's like, meow. It goes. And it like it gets into the aliens. So she's like freaking out because she can't find the cat. And then, she doesn't want the cat to die. So anyways, they go out in the world, like everything is chaos. Then she finds these kids. She's like, here's a couple of candy bars at like, what are they called? Those bars for like protein bars, I guess. She's like, here you go, come in the fountain, and then they can't hear you. So she's like, come on over, gives them food. And then, so she wants to go home because she needs her medicine. She didn't bring her medicine with her. But at her apartment, she has medicine. So she ends up like straying the city or whatever, goes to her apartment, gets the medicine, puts on her patch or whatever she's got to do. And then this guy who's with her, like she ends up finding this guy. He follows her around. She's like, don't you have your own place? And this guy's like, no. He's like, I don't want to be by myself. He's like, I'd rather be here with you. And she's just like, shoot flag, go away. Like, I don't want you here. But I mean, I don't know. They end up like building a connection. And it was really good. I liked it. And I feel like this show is going to be like more than one. Like, I don't know if there's going to be more than one episode, but I feel like there's going to be another part, like some more parts or more parts to it. I don't know.
What did you watch that on? Never mind. Never mind. This is why I asked, because I saw a promo for the show or the movie or the whatever. And I don't remember what I was watching when I saw the promos. And that's why I was just curious, but never mind.
Okay. But in a good thing, it's on Paramount Pictures, it says. I think.
Okay. All right. We'll go with that.
I didn't watch it on Paramount. I didn't watch it on Paramount.
That's okay, Des. That's okay. You don't have to explain anymore.
Why was your face was so cute and priceless. She said, like she looked like a kid that got caught stealing or something.
Yes.
Got caught doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing. That face was priceless. So
yes, exactly. After all of that explanation, It was like, what?
You want to know where I watched it? Oh, my bad.
Okay.
Online. We'll just say that. Online.
Online. I'll go with that. That's cool. That works for me.
Oh, my glasses are getting foggy.
Oh, Lord, her glasses are getting foggy.
Wait a minute. Did you say online?
She did.
Online.
Online. All right. Listen, we're almost to the end of the show. Hey, Kari, why don't you shout out? Can you see who we got on here, Kari? You want to shout
I
out
was
these
just
folks?
about to do that. How did you know? You mind reader. We've got Jason, Christopher Gagliardi, Voyeur Hut. Let's see. Who else did we see in here? I saw Tia Titan, Alex Meckler. I saw a couple of Dave Gilliam and Jeff Dean. Welcome to our live. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. And if you guys have any shows that you want to talk about, drop them in the comments. We've got a couple more minutes, but I did want to stop by some of our prior episodes and see if there were any comments, because it's been a while since we've talked about some comments. And let's see. I saw one and now I can't find it. So
Of course not.
Of course not. Oh, I did. It's John Beach 6226 said, in PA we made it to 70. If you want mindless laughter, give Letterkenny a binge on Hulu.
Letterkenny?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know why I feel like that's a Canadian show. I think it is. And like Schitt's Creek, I don't know if you guys have heard of that one.
Oh,
yeah.
Are you kidding me? Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Seen all of them.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Very good stuff. Another Canadian one is Kim's Convenience. It's on Netflix.
I never
very
heard of
good.
That one.
Yeah, very good. I don't okay, so I liked it because it was about a Korean store owner, and him and his family lived in the lived above the store, and it was, I don't know, I think what I enjoyed about it is you get to experience the cultural things that they do, and then at the same time you get to see how regular is not right, that's not the right way of putting it, and I can't say American because it's in Canada, but you see them do things that are not necessarily Korean, and how they live, the kids, that is, at least, live the life of trying to merge their Korean culture with their Canadian
habitat.
Yeah.
Living Canadian.
Yeah. So that's
I'm like habitat.
I'll go with that. And then the other thing I liked about it too is it's a very diverse characters. So, like I said, it's predominantly about this Korean family, but then they have an Indian family that they talk to. They've got LGBTQ characters that come through the show. So it's very, very, very extremely diverse. And what's great is you don't notice how diverse it is. Like, it doesn't stand out that, oh, they had this particular type of character or this particular type person on the show. It just seems to be normal. That's just, you know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things I really, really, really liked about that show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right.
We love it. So we are, now it's time to say goodbye to our Exotica BoobTube family. Oh, by the way, you can follow.
Sorry. I thought we were ready for that. I jumped the gun.
It's okay.
Casey, your fingers are like.
Sorry.
Okay. I was going to say, no, don't be sorry. You can follow BoobTube.tv on TikTok. I'm going to start posting stuff about TV shows and movies and all kinds of stuff and channels and stuff. So BoobTube.tv on TikTok. But in the meantime, between time, you can go to EXXXOTICA.com. That's EXXXOTICA.com. October 25th to the 27th in Edison, New Jersey. And of course, in my backyard, December 6th through the 8th in Washington, D.C. Ladies Free Friday. Go sign up for your free tickets, and we will see you at our next Exotica show.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Every day. September 13th to the 15th, 2024 is the official, the one, the only 420 Expo. You can follow us on social media at the 420 Expos, and you can also go to 420expo.com to get information about buying tickets. VIP, going VIP, you can go smoke with the best, and or being an exhibitor at the show, and going to the food truck alley.
Oh my God. That's where you want to be. That's where the party's at. You will walk the floor and be like, there's really nobody here. Baby, you go out to them food trucks. That's where everybody is out at them food trucks.
It's so good. Hello, Mistress Melts. So make sure you come to 420 Expo September 13th to the 15th, 2024 in the good old Edison, New Jersey. And you can always follow us on social media. Of course, we're here every Wednesday, except for when life is happening.
And we're not.
We have lives too. We're human.
Every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on EXXXOTICA.tv. Make sure you give this channel a follow, a subscribe, a like, a comment, a share. And we would love to shout you out live on our show. So we will see you guys next Wednesday. Yes, we do.
Do it.
Every yeah. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you guys next week. Back to you, Casey.
Peace out, y'all.